Hi everyone, I've decided to compare the Kings of Leon song Muchacho and the poem Do Not Go Gentle into That Good Night by Dylan Martin. The composers of the song are Caleb, Nathan, Matthew, and Jared Followell. I use the universal idea of death and reaction it brings about, usually grief, as well as the concept that no one is immune to death and that nobody is truly immortal, as well as a comparison of the line repetition used in both poems or in the poem and in the song, and how it gives more meaning to each phrase. Throughout Thomas's poem, there's a definite feeling of rage that is taking over his thought process and a hatred towards death. He is unable to see what the wise men are able to see, that death is important and inevitable. The Kings of Leon song takes a calm, somber approach to the issue of grief that coincides with the wise men. The feeling the song gives off is one of understanding that death is necessary and that you should honor the memory of the dead. Thomas's reaction is mostly out of fear and anger that is a result of his father being on his deathbed and the helpless feeling that there is nothing he can do to help him. And oppositely, the song indicates the understanding that honoring the memory is more important than allowing the rage to manifest inside you. Throughout the song, the line, "He was my favorite friend of all," is used in order to create a seemingly repetitive pattern that makes the audience think about losing their best friend and is able to add to the somber tone it establishes. Similarly, the repetitive nature of the line "rage, rage" against the dying of the light in the poem begs the audience to side with Thomas and share his hatred for death, almost as a pleading that will help his father out of his current condition. Thomas's description of good men, wild men, grave men all dying shows that no one is immortal, and no matter how you live your life, you will pass eventually. Similarly, the use of the line, "He take the back seat of all that he was given," shows the good naturedness of the lost friend and forces the audience to consider the same thing that Thomas is expressing, that no matter how you live your life, you will inevitably die. And in both these pieces, there's a lot of repetition, and the repetition usually falls on these very pivotal lines, such as the rage, rage against the dying of the light, that has that really important anger that is shown by Thomas. And in the Kings of Leon song, the "He was my favorite friend of all," that is repeated constantly to again drive home the effect that losing someone has on a person, and how the audience can feel the pain that the lead singer Caleb can feel as well. Overall, these two pieces address death and how we choose to cope with it, and how no matter how good you are not immortal and will die eventually. They establish this feeling using that repetitive nature of very, very powerful lines that hold a certain sort of gravity to their situation that can kind of force the reader and the listener to feel the same sorts of emotions that they do and kind of experience death with them and understand loss better because of it.